The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, has just started serving her 6.5-year prison sentence for orchestrating a nationwide telemarketing scam that defrauded elderly people out of tens of millions of dollars. Yikes. Shaw, who is no stranger to a luxurious Kardashian-like lifestyle vividly shown in The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, pleaded guilty in July to being involved in a conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. This telemarketing operation specifically targeted older individuals and those struggling with the use of tech, deceiving them into purchasing services which, in reality, didn't exist. In a statement, Manhattan U.S. Attorney Audrey Strauss said the so-called business opportunities pushed on the victims by Shaw, Smith, and their co-conspirators were just fraudulent schemes motivated by greed to steal victims' money. Appearing in a New York City court, Shaw allegedly showed signs of remorse, saying, "I knew it was wrong and many people were harmed. I am so sorry." She confessed to having collaborated with others to commit wire fraud and acknowledged that the scheme deceived victims, with more than 10 of them being over the age of 55. Shaw will now serve a 78-month term in a Texas prison, as well as forfeit $6.5 million and pay up to $9.5 million in restitution. Todd Chrisley and Julie Chrisley. Todd Chrisley and his wife Julie Chrisley, who became famous on the USA Network's family reality series Chrisley Knows Best, are currently serving their sentences for evading taxes and committing bank fraud in June 2022. Back in 2019, the reality TV stars were accused of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and tax fraud. Additionally, Julie Chrisley was charged with wire fraud and obstruction of justice. The pair allegedly presented fraudulent documents to banks when applying for loans. Julie Chrisley submitted a fake credit report and bank statements while applying to rent a California residence, which Chrisley's failed to pay for a few months after moving into the property. The couple insisted on their innocence throughout the trials, with Todd Chrisley stating, "We have nothing to hide and have done nothing to be ashamed of." They're serving different times slightly. Todd Chrisley will serve 12 years with 16 months on probation at the Sunshine State's Federal Prison Camp, Pensacola, while his wife Julie will serve her 7-year sentence with 16 months on probation at the Federal Medical Center in Lexington. Their sentences, however, have since been reduced. Without a doubt, Todd and Julie are model incarcerated individuals who received exorbitant sentences. Jay Sargent, the pair's attorney, told Insider, "I believe Todd is down to 10 years and Julie is now at 5 years. Drew Drechsel. Drew Drechsel made an appearance on a variety of TV shows, including the Japanese show Sasuke, and even won the title of American Ninja Warrior in season 11. But his sexual offenses sparked a legal case that led to his removal from the 12th season of the show and landed him a potential life in prison. Following an FBI investigation, the United States Attorney's Office, District of New Jersey, detailed Drechel's crimes. Drechsel sought to have inappropriate relations with a minor girl and traveled to New Jersey with the intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct with that minor. He also enticed and coerced a minor to travel to Connecticut to engage in illicit conduct and engaged in online inappropriate communications with a minor and induced her to manufacture lewd images of herself and send them to Drechsel. The incident happened around January 2015 through December 2016, when the girl was only 14 years old. Drechsel, who met her during an after event attended by many contestants, didn't deny the act, but argued he wasn't aware of her young age. He was charged with manufacture of lewd material involving minors, enticement of a minor to travel for illicit sexual conduct, travel with the intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct with a minor, and use of interstate commerce to entice a minor. The court denied him bail multiple times, and he eventually decided to plead guilty to 2 felonies. His sentencing was set for October 24th at 11 a.m. in Camden, New Jersey, although no official announcement regarding the verdict has since been made. As of now, it looks like the prison sentences may run consecutively to each other, meaning Drew could face 60 years in prison, down from the previous life in prison, although no option should be ruled out just yet. Harvey Weinstein. Who hasn't heard of the massive, exemplary case involving Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein? It now looks entirely possible that Weinstein will spend the rest of his life in prison, despite begging, "Please don't sentence me to life in prison, I don't deserve it," while getting another jail sentence of 16 years. Weinstein, age 70, will be serving this jail term once he finishes his 23-year sentence for a sexual misconduct conviction in New York back in 2020. This means it's quite likely that he will spend the remainder of his life behind bars. During his sentencing in a Los Angeles court, Weinstein pleaded for leniency. "This is a made-up story. Jane Doe 1 is an actress. She can turn the tears on. Please don't sentence me to life in prison. I don't deserve it. There are so many things wrong with this case. There are too many loopholes, too many things wrong with this case. This is a setup. This is not the way to act in this situation. I beg your mercy." Hey, do we believe him? As much as Weinstein might think this is a witch hunt, we all know the movie mogul has many dark secrets, and he's been getting away with them for far too long. Weinstein was found guilty of sexual misconduct in New York back in February 2020, when over 80 women accused him of abuse, assault, and harassment. He was eventually transported from New York to a Los Angeles prison in July 2021. The producer is currently appealing the conviction and prison sentence he received in New York. His defense attorneys claimed that women willingly engaged in intimate acts with Weinstein since they believe it would advance their careers, blaming it on a widespread casting couch culture in the film industry. The allegations against Weinstein fueled the Me Too movement, which empowered women to share their experiences of sexual harassment and abuse by powerful men. Kalen Walker. Actor and rapper Kalen Walker is another man on our list accused of sexual misconduct. He appeared in the 2018 remake of the 1970s film Superfly, and also starred along Halle Berry and Daniel Craig in the 2017 drama Kings, before being arrested in 2018 for sexually assaulting 4 aspiring models. Allegedly, he contacted them promising lucrative work contracts and photo shoots, which was, as you might guess, just a disguise for his real motives. He was first held on more than $1 million bail and then released, only to be thrown back to prison in March 2019 when 6 new victims, including minors, testified. He was eventually sentenced to 50 years to life in state prison. Throughout the trial, his attorney stated that Walker maintains his innocence and did not receive a fair trial as many important issues were excluded by the court. In a report from NBC4, Walker's defense lawyer Andrew Flyer said, "The pattern of Mr. Walker is to make false promises, and they bought it. Each one of these women voluntarily made their own decisions. He didn't force them. It's payback to Mr. Walker, and we're not going to let that happen." Zach Avery. Actor Zach Avery, who appeared in a number of small, low-budget films, including Last Moment of Clarity and The White Crow, netted millions of dollars in a high-profile Ponzi scheme. But the money will be of little use to him as he will spend the next 20 years in jail. The scheme raised a minimum of $650 million from over 200 investors. How did Avery pull it off? By deceiving them with fake film licensing deals. According to prosecutors, between 2014 and 2019, Avery managed to obtain hundreds of millions in loans for his film company, One in Capital LLC. He falsely assured his investors, including close friends and family members, that he'd use the funds to acquire film distribution rights for movies that would be licensed to major platforms like Netflix and HBO. In reality, Avery diverted some of the money to repay earlier investors and, of course, kept some for himself to make high-value purchases like his $6 million home. Avery's arrest took place in Los Angeles back in April, and he pleaded guilty to a federal charge of securities fraud in October. The actor has also been ordered to reimburse over $230.3 million to his victims. The complaint from the SEC disclosed that neither Avery nor his company had ever done legitimate business with HBO and Netflix. We allege that Horowitz promised extremely high returns.